Hey everyone, Alex checking in for Fridays on the Genderqueer Gang. So the first topic for this week, I'm sure you know by now, but I'm still gonna read it out. Do you ever feel ashamed of your identity, and how do you deal with those feelings? Yes and no. I wouldn't say I feel ashamed. I'm more apprehensive of how others are gonna react to me. Um, I live in an extremely small town, and the good and bad of me being me in such a small town is that I've done so many different things with the way that I look that people kind of aren't surprised anymore. The bad side of that is that I live in a very small town. So people aren't very, it's not that they're not open-minded, it's just that people like me don't come along very often. We're just starting out with gay people. There's a lot of them, but a lot of them are in the closet and are living extremely under the radar. And it's not like a common occurrence, I guess you could say, and which makes it very hard for me being transgender and everyone kind of looking at you close up all the time. The thing with small towns is everyone knows everyone else's business, and sometimes they even do before you know your own business. So no, I'm not exactly ashamed. If I was in a bigger city and dealing with people that I didn't know on a daily basis, I probably wouldn't give a damn. But being here definitely makes it a lot harder. Sometimes I kind of want to do what people expect of me because that's just easier, because people are used to dealing with me in that sense, and I'm used to dealing with them in that sense, and then there's no awkwardness. That's what probably bothers me the most, is that a lot of people are starting to be awkward around me now that, news are kind of going around. So yeah, how do I deal? I don't really. I don't. I kind of try and push that all away. Second question, was it easy or difficult for you to accept your own identity, and what feelings or thoughts did it bring up for you? I will be perfectly honest, it was unbelievably difficult for me to come to terms with my identity. There are still days when I kind of wish the enlightenment hadn't happened, because I was miserable before, but at least it wasn't the same type of being miserable. The feelings that came with it, I'll be perfectly honest, I had a full-blown mental meltdown. It was absolutely horrifying. And that was not even a year ago. I remember sitting on my bed, coming to that, I don't know if you could say conclusion, that I was transgender, and I was crying so hard. I wanted to puke. I wanted to die. My excuse me, insides were hurting. It was absolutely horrible. And that lasted for, I don't know, like a half an hour, 45 minutes maybe. And like the more things I discover about me, the easier it gets. Like, even though like I discover like new facets of my gender identity day by day, it gets easier to deal with those. Like even last week when I was like, I am probably bigender in a way, like not in the usual sense that people use it, but it would make sense for me to call myself bigender, and I kind of didn't want to for many reasons relating to my personal life and people that I know who are transgender. Um, but you know, when I'm alone, that's really what it comes down to. Like, if I were alone and no one else was around and I'm just with myself, what happens? Like, if I forget about what kind of judgment people are gonna throw towards me and all that, that's pretty much what I base my decisions off of, and how I know what is real, what isn't, what I'm really feeling, what I'm not. It's a little hard. It's something that you can cultivate with time, definitely. But that's kind of how I get to conclusions about what's going on up there. Yeah. I guess I've stretched this out enough for today. I know I'm a, big talker. And I will see you all next week. Bye.